This guy's called the Standing Streamer.
Real stand-up kind of guys.
Hey, everybody, Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret, and you're watching Putting You Over.
Anyways, welcome to Putting You Over. It's going to be a phenomenal night. It is a Thursday. Welcome D-Rod, Bloatman, Kyle, B.O.B., who's here. Vanessa, you can hear her in the background. Guys, thanks for coming in. It has been a busy week of wrestling with, Monday, SummerSlam on Sunday, Monday Night Raw, and then we had NXT unopposed on Wednesday. We had AEW tonight, which I haven't watched any of it. We're getting close to Synergy Heat Seekers. If you haven't seen the preview panel show it got posted today, I think. That was pretty exciting. What's up, Roadshow? So we have all that to talk about tonight. It's useless. This chat up here on the monitor is fucking useless if it doesn't. This old gag. Oh man. And then we have Matt Sells tonight. And if you don't like tonight's guest, that's too bad because all sells are final. Awesome. Let me go.
Hey, you can see me.
I can see you. And I don't even think I have to pin your video because I think I finally learned how to use Zoom.
I was just doing that as well. I was trying to use my trusty iPad. I didn't like that, and all of a sudden my phone works. So I guess I'm vertical, which I hate. Is that okay?
You know what? I totally appreciate the honesty. It is okay. I hate vertical too.
No, it's awful. I wonder if it will switch.
Yeah, I think if you switch, that's much better. I wasn't going to say anything because I find my wife tells me it's rude if I say that to people. When I see,
it drives me up the wall when people do. I mean, obviously, I do web series and stuff. Like if you're going to watch it on TV, you need to watch it the same way on the internet.
Well, here's the thing. I see people all the time. They'll get out their phones to video record something, and they're holding it like this. And I get so mad. I'm like, you hold it like you watch TV. You hold it like this and record your daughter playing softball. That's how you do it. Otherwise, it's going to be vertical and look stupid.
We get along perfectly already.
It's phenomenal. I'm so happy you said that. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm not too shabby. How about you?
I'm exhausted, actually. I have 3 daughters. And so that right alone, it wears me out. But we had our end of the year travel softball party, and it was the parents versus the kids in a softball game. And I'm beat, but that's okay. I'll get over it.
You'll live. Hopefully, you'll recover at some point.
Sometime. I'll wake up about 9 tomorrow, stumble out of bed, and have to parent all over again. You have to do that every day. They don't tell you that when you sign up.
You're like, yeah, it'll be fun. It's one and done.
Yeah. I didn't agree on the third one either. I agreed on the first 2. The third one, I had no part. I don't know. I think I got tricked or something. But I appreciate you taking your time tonight. I'm really excited that you're here because when I first stumbled upon you, And you can probably get this a lot, or maybe not. I don't know. But I first saw you. You were like one of the first wrestlers on AEW Dark, and the first thing that caught my eye was your character and your entrance and just the way you presented yourself. It's very relatable for the people here live tonight at Twitch, and we're going to push it out to YouTube. Why don't you describe that character a little bit?
So I mean, I'll go ahead and start out. We'll crack open a beer. So
Yeah, we're at a bar. We might as well crack open a beer. What are you drinking tonight?
It's the usual Matt Sexcel's go-to. It's Miller Lite.
Look, see, I know how to work too. Look, see.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah, I get it.
That's good branding on my part that you knew. Like,
Yeah, that's right. Got a cool. I got
actually sitting here in my home bar. You can't really see it really well. I'm actually on a bar stool. I've got a tabletop bar. I'm very lucky enough that I have a wife that was like, yeah, when we moved into our new place, like, let's not have a dining room, let's build a bar. So yeah, I've got my lovely everything back here, my autographed Rob Zombie memorabilia. There's all kinds of other fun stuff over here that I would love to show people. But you're talking about the character, about the rock and roll model, about the Boozerweight Matt Sexcel's. And they always say that, you know, the best wrestling characters are the ones that are your persona held up to 11. So it's exactly who I want to be and who I am in a lot of facets. I'm just being a guy who just likes to have a good time and likes to go out and have a drink or 10 and doesn't take himself too seriously a lot of times. And so many guys right now in pro wrestling, like, everybody's the wrestler. Like, everybody, you know, it's the kind of the early the Ring of Honor days where guys, you know, the black trunks, black boots. Everybody's a really good technical wrestler, and there's so many fantastic athletes out there, and there are less entertainers now. So Matt Sexcel's is very much a throwback. And I think they mentioned that on commentary a couple times for AEW Dark. I looked like a throwback. But, you know, if you travel back in time 30, 35 years ago, everybody looked like me, and nobody looks like me now. And so it catches people's eye, obviously. And so I'm like I said, the rock and roll model and the Boozerweight. So the party guy and the guy that you'd want to hang out with and have a beer after the show, because that's really me. Yeah.
You mentioned mullet. Would you or you mentioned hair? Would you describe your hair as a mullet? Because you would be our third guy we've had on with an amazing mullet.
I would not say mullet. When it first started growing out, actually, God, 16, 17, 18 years ago, I started growing my hair out, and it naturally grew as a mullet. Like, it was all business in the front, party in the back. And now it's a frizzy throwback to 80s wrestling. Definitely not a mullet, because it's I try to keep it equal length.
Yeah.
Definitely not the beautiful head of hair of Brian Pillman Jr. currently. Like, I think he has the best head of hair in wrestling. I think I'm a close number 2.
Yeah, we had Pillman on. He was one of them with the phenomenal mullet, and Zicky Dice at the time had a pretty decent mullet himself. I don't know if he'd call it a mullet, but I'm gonna. So
he's a guy that gets brought up in conversation a lot when people talk to me. They're like, I would love to see you and Zicky Dice doing something, you know, whether we were working each other or tagging together or whatever. So that's something on my radar as well.
Have you ever had any run-ins with him at all?
I met him. I know at a Ring of Honor tryout camp probably 6-7 years ago, but I don't think he was doing the current persona and gimmick. So good for him. Like, he's fantastic with everything he does.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal guy. Now he's, you know, because the pandemic and all that, he's got his own Twitch channel as well. He's doing great stuff over there, man. We'll have to. I'll put in a good word with
definitely
the outlandish one. We'll get you on that show, in one way or another. But I want to go back a little bit, because there's something I found extremely interesting, and I'm going to do my best not to hit on, like, how'd you get started, where'd you train, all that fun stuff, because you're
already my favorite podcast I've ever been on.
Because
normally I have like a prepared statement of I was trained in 2002.
Because you like to drink beer, you said it, and you've been hitting the head a lot, so you probably can't remember.
You do follow my stuff. I love it.
You probably can't remember anything anyways. But one of
No,
the
see, that's the problem. The long-term memory is good. I remember all that stuff. You asked me stuff about a week ago. That's going to be problematic. Ask me about early on in my career. I can name my first 100 matches. But
the most interesting thing I took away when I was doing my research is you were out, I guess, on the road. You were out doing this at the age of 15. You went to the Dory Funk School at 15 years old, and then maybe 17 you start traveling and going to shows. At 17, I was trying to score some Keystone Light and playing basketball at a playground with like one lamppost, and you're on the road.
that's funny enough because at 17 I didn't drink. So
Yeah.
surprisingly enough.
I came from a really small town. It wasn't much to do, but my interview is a whole different show altogether.
No, it was weird. Like I always tell people, wrestling kind of was the opposite for me that it is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like it kept me out of trouble when I was young, because I was so. Can you still see me? I can't see you.
Yeah, I can see you. You can't see
Oh,
me.
there we go. Now you go. Like it kept me out of trouble when I was young. It was because when I was 17, 18, 19 years old, if I was on the road, the bars and when I turned 21 and I was legal, the bars in Georgia would close at 2. So if I was working a show that didn't end until 11 or midnight, and I was driving back home, getting home at 3 or 4 a.m., I had no choice but to go home and go to bed. So it kept me out of trouble. So I always tell people I'm living my 30s now the way I should have lived my 20s. But yeah, it was nuts. I started training right before my 16th birthday, and was very fortunate that I was living in Georgia, and my mom drove me down to do a camp at Dory Funk Junior School, and went down there. And I remember I rolled quarters to help pay for the training where I trained there in the VA Wild Side in Northeast Georgia as well. So yeah, very fortunate to have a good support system and then be out there and wrestling at such a young age, because it was a quick education, and very fortunate to be around some guys in the locker room that didn't take advantage of me and
Yeah.
beat the shit out of me or anything.
It's just so amazing to me. So, were there any times you had to lie about your age, or I mean, did people know up front that you were, I guess, under? I mean, I don't know how it works in the wrestling scene. Like you're under 18.
I never had to outright lie. It was always a blessing when I was very young. That if I did want to get into trouble, people always thought I was a lot older. It's not so much a blessing now.
Yeah.
I hate when people think I'm older now. But when I was 16, 17 years old, people thought I was 19, 20, 21. So it never came up. And I actually had one of my trainers tell me a couple of years later, he was like, if I had known how young you were, I wouldn't have trained you. So, and in hindsight being 2020, I kind of wish I hadn't started training so young, because when you're 16, 17 years old, you know everything.
Yeah. I was gonna ask
so
that.
You're taking all these dumb bumps, and nobody can tell you any differently, and you believe you should be signed at 17 and whatever, and so you're taking bumps off your bump card, and then you're 34 right now. You're like, I wish I had some of those back.
All right, so there's a couple people in the chat that are saying to turn you up a little bit. So I'm gonna ask a question, and then I'm gonna walk around the front of the bar, and while you answer, I'm just gonna turn your volume up a tad. Let me see where I wanted to talk about. Oh, okay. So you started at such a young age, 15 years old. You're out, you're doing your thing. You mentioned a little bit about your parents there. What's your first wrestling memory growing up? Living with your parents, and who was more supportive? Your father, your mother, none, neither?
I wasn't super into wrestling at a young age. I was more of a comic book guy, and anybody who follows me knows I'm very much a baseball guy. So those were my passions when I was very young. My first major wrestling memory would be watching WCW Saturday Night at my grandfather's house. My mother's father, and he and my younger brother were big into wrestling, and it still didn't really appeal to me. The first time I can remember it appealing to me would have been Hulk Hogan's heel turn and joining the NWO, so 1996.
1996. Yeah.
Kind of getting to see the cool bad guy, that was appealing to me. And like I said, I was very fortunate. My mom was very, very supportive, kind of from the get go. Once I decided I wanted to train, helped me out getting to trainings and stuff like that. And my dad was supportive too. So it was nice to be around parents that didn't think I was a dumb dipshit kid for wanting to do what I'm doing.
Just taking off and doing whatever the hell he wants. In a young age, you're all over. You have experience Dory Funk Junior School, places like NWA Anarchy, Alternative Pro Wrestling, but you went. Let me see how I want to ask this. You went to Ring of Honor, and I believe it's called maybe the Dojo. You go to Ring of Honor basically. With guys like Jay Lethal, the Briscoes, you're probably getting there, getting advice and experience, but you never really took off. You never really, I guess, blew up is the word that people use.
How dare you?
See, and now you're my favorite guest because you say that. Like, do you feel like you hit the place you wanted to hit in Ring of Honor?
Fuck no.
Okay. Okay. So my question is this. My question is, do you because you moved down to Philly for that? Yeah.
So to long story short, which I hate that phrase because it's never a short fucking story. But long story short, I had been wrestling for 10 years. Went and did my first Ring of Honor tryout camp. I felt like I shit the bed the first day. Contemplated quitting wrestling. Talked to my wife on the phone that night, and she's like, "Go in and just do what you feel like doing the next day." Went in, felt much better, performed much better. Started getting in contact with guys like Kevin Kelly and Delirious and Steve Corino and Bob Evans, and so they kind of became some of my coaches within my life and mentors. And so I remember it was specifically Bob and Kevin and Corino, and I asked them after a couple of years later, I'd keep going to camps, and asked them, what they thought if I moved up and trained out of the dojo, like, do I have a shot? And they all said, nothing's guaranteed, but you won't know unless you try. So I was actually a school teacher in a podunk little Georgia town, and was going to choose not to renew my contract. And my wife told me, "Hey, I know you want to try for this Ring of Honor stuff. Like, if you want to go ahead, we can move up to Philly and give it a shot." So she found the job. She moved up a couple weeks before me. I packed up all my shit in a trailer, hauled it up there, and 15 hours later, I was unpacking my stuff in Philly and training out of the Ring of Honor dojo. So I think you were going to ask if I regretted it.
Yeah. I
No.
was gonna. I would. What I actually had written was, do you regret moving to Philly, or is the experience that you got there priceless?
A lot of what I do now in the ring, even though I don't work the Ring of Honor style.
Yes.
Everybody sees that how I work is definitely not the Ring of Honor style. It's definitely not the AEW style. But it's using the psychology that I learned there, mixed with the Southern Memphis bullshit that I do to understand psychology. So no, I completely transformed myself as a wrestler. Moving up there, like I said, by the time I moved up there, I was 12 years in the business.
Yeah.
And thought that I knew a lot, and thought I knew a lot more than I did. And so to be able to go up there and train in a completely different style, and to be under the learning tree of Delirious, who headed up the dojo, to be under the learning tree of Cheeseburger, who people do not know how crazy of a wrestling savant he is. Like, he sees one thing and he picks it up like that.
Wow.
And you mentioned the Briscoes, so to have like Jay Briscoe, when he was world champion, come up to me after I worked the dark match and be the first person to greet me at the curtain and give me feedback, like, that meant a lot. So no, I don't regret it at all. It helped me be who I am. I look back now, and yeah, it's easy to be always joke and be salty and bitter about the experience. And part of me is like, part of me thinks that, I should have been on television. I should have been used differently, but it also opened up plenty of pathways, because that's how I met Cody Rhodes. That's how I met the Young Bucks. So who knows, what wouldn't have come if I hadn't moved up there. Yeah. And I made a lot of good friends in Philly too. Like, I still keep in touch with people that are, indie guys up there, or even non-wrestling people. So it was a good experience.
You just said getting feedback from the Briscoes, and the only image I have in my head is them handing you like chicken feed, because I know that they're chicken farmers. I'm like, why are they giving the feedback to them? I don't get it.
My favorite thing always would be like, so they both would always come up to me and go, "Sexy Cells," and then my favorite would be Mark would go, "Come on, hey, Sexy Cells," and then you'd smile that big toothless smile, and it would just make me laugh every time. Like, just there's no way, like, you're gonna be having the worst day possible, and Mark Briscoe calls you Sexy Cells and smiles like, "I'm good." Like, this is all I want out of life.
We have a question in the chat from Bob. He would like to know
No questions. That wasn't part of the deal.
I'm gonna ask it anyways. What's the best piece of advice? I'm only asking it because it related well to my question. Otherwise, I'd totally ignore it. What's the best piece of advice that you've ever gotten?
The best piece of advice I've ever gotten is from Brutal Bob Evans. And he told me years ago, stop wrestling to try to get a job and start wrestling to have fun.
That's amazing.
And every bit of success, and I didn't listen to him for a couple of years, and it showed in my work. But especially like the last couple of years, when I started just going out there and just trying to have fun and trying to remember why I got into wrestling.
Yeah.
And doing what I wanted to do and just enjoying the process of it. That surprise when I got over. So yeah, to not wrestle for a job, not wrestle for a contract, but wrestle for fun. By far the best piece of advice I've gotten.
Yeah, and that's almost with like anything in life, like especially with something you're so passionate about. When you start focusing on just doing it for the fun aspect, you're gonna have more fun. You're gonna enjoy it more and be less stressed out or focused about things off the topic, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
No, absolutely. You're 100% correct.
I mean, I relate it to like me. Like I do this Twitch stream, and I used to do it a long time ago, and it wasn't always this show. It was something else, and I was doing it, and I was having fun, and then I turned it into like a business and then I'm so focused on viewers, do this, that, and then I was like, I'm burning myself out. I gotta stop, and then I just like, what do I like to do? I like wrestling. What else do I like to do? Talk. What else do I like to do? Stand. Well, let me stand here in front of people and talk about wrestling, like talk to wrestlers and have fun. And when it's not fun, I tell Vanessa this all the time. When this is not fun, what we're doing, we're done. Like I'll skip a show, I'll stop when it's not fun. So
and recharge the batteries and go back to it. Because I know so many other wrestlers that say, when it's fun, when it's no longer fun, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. It's like there's been plenty of times in my career it stopped being fun for a long time, but you get those moments back. So yeah, to kind of recenter and figure out how to make it fun again, definitely.
Your experience on AEW Dark, I think you've been on more than once. I think you've been on twice.
Yeah, so I was on there technically twice.
Yeah.
I had some other stuff that was filmed and never got used because they went back to being able to do live TV. So I don't think I'm at liberty to say.
Gotcha.
There are some other AEW Matt Sells matches that will probably never see the light of day. That, unfortunately, because I was very proud of them, but two official AEW matches.
They'll show up on the Coliseum home video somewhere.
Right,
somewhere
exactly.
down the line.
It's that bonus match.
Paid for. So you were happy with your performances up there and your matches, I guess. Yeah.
I was very happy.
Yeah.
I was very happy with especially the two that I'll talk about. The two that aired.
Okay. Sounds good.
But yeah, no, the first one to be able to get in there with QT Marshall, who I met at my first Ring of Honor trial camp, and who I hated because he was so naturally gifted and talented and everything that I wasn't. And to see him as successful as he is, and the head trainer of the school that I train out of right now, out of the Atlanta area in the Nightmare Factory, so to be able to work with him, and then to be able to work with Dustin Rhodes, who was a bucket list opponent.
Yeah.
That was a big one, and to go in there and be able to show some of my showcase skills of selling and bumping around for those guys was perfect. And then the second match was against Sammy Guevara. And so I got to show a lot more of my personality stuff with that. And to be able to have a competitive match, because Sammy was very giving, and to be able to have Tony Khan come up to me before and after and tell me how happy he was with my performance before and then my performance with that match. That meant a lot. You know, the guy signing the paychecks is happy with what you're doing. That's that's the best feedback you can get.
Yeah, sure is. It says, I think it's on your Twitter profile, maybe. The title professional jobber. Did you give yourself that title? And is it more? What's the meaning behind that title?
So, long story short. So anybody that follows me knows I do the web series It's Never Sunny in
Yeah,
Atlanta,
I
which
love it.
they're comedy shorts, usually right around a minute, where I play. I've always been a big fan of like Seinfeld,
Yeah,
and of Louis, and of Marin, where they play these exaggerated versions of themselves.
Yes.
And so
You're the best. You're the best guest I've ever had. Those are all my favorite shows.
Perfect. So that's where It's Never Sunny in Atlanta comes from. Is I wanted to play an exaggerated version of myself, and so I shot one promo where I was frustrated that I wasn't in the Ring of Honor top prospect tournament 4 years ago, whenever I started it, and was told not to post it because it might rub people the wrong way.
Yeah.
And so I ended up posting something that made fun of that, and that eventually turned into It's Never Sunny in Atlanta. So that comes from the fact that I told people that I thought that that's how Ring of Honor viewed me, as an alcoholic jobber. And so I play an alcoholic jobber. And so that's where that comes from. It's this exaggerated version of myself that I go in there, I put people over, I go have a drink afterwards, and that's it. And then I'm angry and bitter about it. But it's my therapy at the same time. If I say that and do that, and it's coming from a dark place, I'm able to turn it into comedy. That's where that comes from. So it's turning that negative into a positive. So that's what that is. Most guys are like, no way, I don't want to be the jobber. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the jobber. Let's laugh about it. And then it gets me over, and I sell more T-shirts and do well at the merch table and get more bookings. So. Which in the end of the day, it's the wrestling business. So if it helps me business wise, it doesn't matter my win-loss record.
Yeah.
Cause it's fake.
It is?
Sorry, I know. Breaking news.
You just broke kayfabe. You can't do it.
I know, I'm awful. Like I'm getting canceled right now.
I was on a panel. I was on a panel last night for Synergy Pro Wrestling. They got a pay-per-view this weekend, Heat Seekers, blah, blah, blah. It's on Fight, Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, all that fun stuff. I was on the panel, and they came to me, and they said, what do you think about this match? These two wrestlers, they haven't won their matches. They're 0-6 here, 0 whatever the case may be here. Does that win-loss record matter? And I started the thing off by saying, I don't pay any attention to the win-loss. It's a match with two guys, and one's got to go over, or one's got to get over, and the other's got to go over. So,
like, it depends on the story you're wanting to tell. Like, AEW does a good job with the win-loss records. Like, if you present it as a sport, awesome. Like, then you start caring about the win-loss records. The gimmick I did for the last year and a half, where I literally did not win a match for a year and a half. And that was by design, by my design. And you wouldn't believe how much I had to argue with promoters and bookers to keep wanting to put me over.
To keep losing.
They're like, you're over. And I'm like, I'm over because I'm the penultimate loser. Like, people connect with me. Like, I think everybody connects with the fact, you walk into work and the day just doesn't go that well, and you try your damnedest and you lose, and you go home, you have a beer, and you try again tomorrow. That's who I was. And the best part of that was towards the end of the run of that streak, I lost, it was like 81 matches in a row. Like, every match started to mean something. Like, every crowd, everywhere I worked, started biting on every false finish because they wanted to believe that they were going to be a part of being there, seeing Matt Sells win his first match and break that streak. So it's all about getting people emotionally invested. It doesn't always matter if you're the winner. And I always tell people, like the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs were more
lovable losers
when they were the lovable losers than they were once they won the World Series. Like, who gives a shit about the Cubs now?
I'm a big Red Sox fan. I grew up.
Perfect example.
I grew up and they never won. But we lost them. Did we lose them? Oh yeah, I mentioned. Oh, he's back.
I can see myself. I can't see you.
Oh, you're back. Can you hear me?
There we go.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
I was like, I mentioned one thing about the Red Sox. He's gone.
Right. No, I was like, I'm a Braves fan. Go. No,
And the Braves are kind of like that too. Like my younger brother's a Braves fan.
They're a different kind of loser.
Yeah.
Like, you root for them. Once they get in the playoffs, then you know you're going to be disappointed. That's how it goes.
Yeah, man, those Dale Murphy, Bob Horner years, and then I'm dating myself. And then you get to those early Braves, coming back against the Pirates. Game 7 against Minnesota. I mean, they
wanting to root for those underdogs, and then knowing ultimately you're going to be disappointed, but we'll try again next year.
Yeah, and that's why people loved them. Yeah,
people connect with it. Yeah.
That's what I hear every year. The Tigers never win.
So we've been in this pandemic, indie wrestling, any type of wrestling, all that fun stuff is just taking a crap. I mean, we're coming out of it now, at least with things opening up. But something I've been asking everybody, because the shows have been building up over here since the pandemic, because people got to put themselves over, so might as well give them a platform to do it. Have you learned any new traits or tricks or talents that you could use in the ring or out of the ring to help get yourself over? You drink beer with a different hand.
That's
maybe?
a damn good question. That's no.
No.
No. Like I work a shoot job, so I worked through the whole everything. So
yeah,
I always tell people I got to do everything I didn't want to do and didn't get to do anything I did want to do.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I didn't have a whole lot of free time like a lot of people did, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then the free time I did do, I didn't do anything productive. Watched movies and played video games and kind of used it as a chance to recharge myself. And be a normal human being. I thought that was the really fun part of wrestling, kind of shutting down for a little bit of, sitting at home and on a Friday or Saturday night and relaxing and not necessarily driving hours upon hours and kind of getting to enjoy that and enjoy some time with the wife and be a normal human being. So I didn't learn any new skills. It was just a new skill of being a human being, I guess.
Yeah. What'd you watch? Any really good movies you want to put over?
So when the baseball season got delayed, I put it out on Twitter that I was doing the Boozerweight Baseball Film Fest, and so I just tried to watch a different baseball movie every night. So, all the classics and stuff, nothing out of the ordinary or anything, but the usual stuff that you would think of if you wanted to watch baseball movies. Went back and watched a lot of movies I hadn't seen in a long time, and reignited my love for a lot of movies. So,
what's the best baseball movie?
If I'm going drama and something that makes me want to cry, Field of Dreams, every time. Yeah. Something I will laugh and quote every line and still thoroughly enjoy it. Major League.
Yes, I knew it. Okay, here's the next question. All right, and you might have just answered it with that response, but what's better, Major League 1 or Major League 2?
1. I love 2.
And
just having rewatched them a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
2 was a lot better than I remembered it being, but one's a perfect movie.
It's
not even
classic.
Just like a baseball movie. One's a perfect movie. Like it's clearly defined baby faces and heels, and it gives you that underdog story that you care about, following. And like I said, every character is just clearly defined and has their role and is lovable in a different way. So. I love that movie. You're making me want to go back and watch it right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, he's so right. I haven't watched that movie in so long.
See, that's how I was too. And I rewatched it and I was like, I still know every line. Like, I need to rewatch it, but it's fantastic.
Yeah. I quoted Major League 2 a couple of days ago. I just, out of the blue, when somebody does something like tries to show off, in my life, I will say the line, "Wow, Willie's really got some power." And that's from Major League 2, where Willie Mays Hayes is trying to show that he can hit home runs. Right. And it's like, I'm the only one that gets it. Like, I'll say to my house, and maybe my wife.
Yeah, brother, I just pop myself on stuff all the time, and nobody knows what I'm talking about. I get it.
I'm like, wow, Willie's really got some power. And if I'm around my brothers, they'll hit the other line. But speaking of baseball, you're a big Atlanta fan. You're down there in Atlanta, Matlanta, not Atlanta.
Got it.
How do you feel about what we're encountering in this baseball season?
So I've been telling everybody from the get-go, this will be the year that the Braves finally win another World Series.
Yeah, you're right.
And I will not get to be there to experience it.
It sucks.
And come next year, everybody will say that this season didn't matter.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
That's gonna be it.
Yeah, it's either gonna be you or
they have a fantastic team this
Yeah.
year. Like, and they're missing almost all their starting pitching, and they're still first place in the NL East.
Yeah, they lost.
But
What's his face? Gosh.
Soroka.
Yeah.
Soroka's out with an Achilles. He was going to be their number one this year. You're already missing Hamels. You were already missing Felix Hernandez.
Yeah.
That you both signed for 1-year deals. Like, and you were still making do. And now your true number one goes out, and you're still making do. And it's they'll win this year, and then nobody will care. And
That's an asterisk.
And I was this close to pulling the trigger and getting season tickets this year too. So I'm glad.
I wonder what happened. Like, I mean, people still have to pay for those, I guess, right? I would assume.
They got refunds.
They did. Oh wow.
Yeah. And I had a lot of concert tickets this year too. I got refunds for. So yeah.
I can't even.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah, exactly. I had 3 Pearl Jam shows I was gonna go to. Missed them. So
Motley Crue is my all-time favorite band.
Oh, you got that Motley Crue hair.
Fantastic fucking seats to see them.
Yeah.
And then found out that my wife and one of my best friends had coordinated that I was going to do a meet and greet with Crue that day, which was 3 days before my birthday.
Oh my gosh.
And that was canceled. So yeah, first world problems, right?
I guess it could be worse. Just to go back quickly to baseball in the Braves. So you're in I have the MLB package, MLB Extra Innings. I have it. I watch all the games. I don't know if you have it, so maybe you can't answer this.
Yeah, I've got MLB.TV. Yeah,
okay, perfect. So
I'm listening. I'm grabbing another beer. I can hear you though.
Oh yeah, no problem. No problem. I walk away, get beers all the time. So you're in Atlanta. When the Braves are on at home, are you able to watch them on the package, or is it?
No. So I have to have some sort of cable or something. Yeah. Because the blackout rules, which is
ridiculous because you can't go to the game. Like, it's blacked out because they want you to go to the game. Like, they should have gotten rid of MLB TV. Should have gotten rid of that this year.
Oh, it used to drive me nuts when I lived in Philly. I had MLB.TV so I could watch Braves games.
Yeah.
And if they were in town to play,
it's blacked out.
If Philadelphia was in Atlanta, I couldn't watch the game. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't drive 12 hours to go see the game. I could, but.
Oh man, yeah.
I have that up here too. All Blue Jays games up here are blacked out on MLB if you're in Canada.
It's awful.
So you have to have Rogers to watch the Blue Jays, even if you pay for the MLB package.
No, so it's great, if you live out of market of your favorite team, or if you want to watch other games out of market. But if you subscribe to that just to watch your team, it's awful.
Yeah. See, I'm lucky. I'm not lucky because I get a beat in here in New York because I'm a Red Sox fan, but I get to watch all the games, unless they play.
Yeah, but you are lucky. You've had World Series more recent than I have.
Well, that's what I was.
Same here.
Well, your team's in Canada. We don't really pay attention to them. So.
No, the Tigers is my team.
Oh, that's right.
Now.
I keep
pay
forgetting.
attention.
But that's what I was saying earlier. I started to touch on it before the hackers hacked into our feed. I grew up with the Red Sox. They were the lovable losers, and then in 2004, the big win. Then it was 2007 they won. Then it was 13, and and now it's that rival that passion and the rivalry, especially with the Red Sox and Yankees. That rivalry now is not as intense as it used to be. It's still intense, but it's.
See, I respect the Red Sox because when the story came out, they were getting drunk and drinking during the games. So I was like, okay, that's my kind of baseball.
There you go. Yeah, those 2004 Red Sox, those dirt dogs, they were they're 3 sheets to the wind. I bet you Kevin Millar was, yeah. And then the year they had, what's his face? Oh man, shame on me for not remembering. See, I've drank too much. The first baseman, he used to play for Texas. Always had his shirt off after the games were over. Oh God, I can't remember now. It's gonna suck. Whatever. Doesn't matter. But the Boozerweight. So you mentioned yourself as the Boozerweight. How can I challenge for the Boozerweight championship?
I think that has to be a drinking contest, right? Like that's, I've said for a while, so you're going to get an exclusive because I haven't put this out there anywhere. I want to commission a Boozerweight championship.
Belts by Dan. They'll do it. They're great.
The side plates, I want to have cup holders. And so you can stick your beers in the side plates. And just as it's right there. So I guess a drinking contest.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done all kinds of crazy stuff on shows with Boozerweight stuff. A couple weeks ago, I actually just did a live wire wrestling in Augusta, Georgia. We did one lucky fan got to play me in beer pong. We've done different drinking contests and have a beer with Matt Sells where people get to hang out and hear me bullshit just like this and have a beer with me. So I guess there'd be some form of that to be able to challenge me for the Boozerweight Championship.
I'm definitely up for that challenge. Although I'd have to probably drink either Rolling Rock or Miller Lights or.
If it's against me and for the Boozerweight Championship,
it's like
it has to be Miller Lite.
It's like home field advantage. I have to drink Miller Light.
I'm in.
But I can. Oh, there you go. It's a triple threat. It's perfect. I can mess with some Rolling Rock too. Rolling Rock's pretty fantastic.
It sure is. It's my favorite.
I'm actually with any beer that would love to sponsor me. If anybody's listening to this podcast, I love your beer as long as you will say you're a sponsor of the Boozerweight Matt Sex Sells.
Yeah, because Sex sells. Matt Sex it sells. It can sell beer too.
Perfect. I can sell anything. I sell your moves. I sell your beer. I sell sex. Whatever. That's jack of all trades.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Let's get them. We get Miller Lite, Rolling Rock, Yingling. We do it all.
I wish I was a bigger fan of Yingling. Like, cause I do like Yingling, but it was great being in the Philly area. Like, you get that stuff cheaper than water there. It's perfect.
You can, can't you? It is cheaper than water, isn't it?
No, it was insane. Like I'd go to the beer store and it's like a 30-pack for like $12.
I wish I could get your beer prices. Oh, it makes me so jealous.
Oh, and see, I love going to Canada and getting crazy different types of beer there though. Like stuff I can't get here. Like the last time I was in Toronto, I had the Bud Light Radler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like 2% alcohol.
Oh, I know. They're
so
great.
Water. Like, and then I always love going up and drinking plenty of Labatt Blue, of course. See, I like cheap shitty beer.
You need to get in 50 Labatt 50.
Oh man!
Go ahead and send me a case. We're good.
They're saying in the chat that I still don't say Yingling correctly. It's Yingling.
Yingling.
That's what I said. Yingling.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
Maybe neither one of us are saying it correctly.
Get out of here, Bob. Yeah, interrupting our. We answered your question.
So maybe you should say younglings and Luke Skywalker kills or Anakin Skywalker kills them. Is that how it works?
Younglings. That was a phenomenal scene, and I don't care what anybody tells me about those prequels.
Oh, the only scene in the prequels I like.
That is just a phenomenal scene. I saw that Revenge of the Sith in the theaters, and when that scene came up, and he goes into that room, and the door shuts, and his lightsaber, I literally just I was the only one. I must love heels. I was the only one that was like, yes. And then and my wife looks at me.
Shit's about to go down.
Yeah. Actually, she wasn't my wife then, but she looks at me and she says, "You're cheering for the death of children." It's like, it's a story. It's fake.
This is the penultimate. Yeah. It's the heel turn right here.
Yeah, exactly. I
know what's going to happen. I saw the original.
Yeah. This is Hogan. Hogan's dropping the leg right now. And
Yoda starts throwing trash in the ring.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, brother.
You got Mace Windu, just not happy at all.
Mace Windu's in the back. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, anyways, Matt, we're nearing the end of the show. I am getting the high sign from nobody, but I've always wanted to say I was getting the high sign.
Perfect. I've done stand up and done open mic, so I've gotten that high sign plenty of times. So.
I don't have it. There's no one here telling me to stop. But I like to be. I have no idea actually. But I feel like we could talk all night.
Oh, definitely.
So ending now would definitely increase my chances of getting you back on sometime. So.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, we just come back, have a few beers. Hell, we could put on friggin' Major League. We'll watch it together. Who knows?
Oh, yeah, there you go. We'll do a commentary.
Yeah.
I mean,
go ahead.
I'm doing what I would normally do on a Thursday night anyway. I'm talking about myself and drinking beer. So
yeah, me too. Me too. Man, I told you at the start of this, I had 3 daughters. If I don't come down here and drink some beer and either play some video games, you said you played video games. What do you play?
MLB The Show is my
sweet.
go-to, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm nuts with that, where I have to do a franchise. I have to play a 162-game season.
Oh, my God.
Flipping pick. It's been that. It's been PGA Tour 2K21 that just came out.
Yeah, how is that?
Love it.
Yeah?
Love it. It's great. Picking up Madden tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then I finished Last of Us 2 recently and Final Fantasy 7 Remake, but most of the time it's sports video games.
Yeah, I've been
I like especially baseball.
Yeah, I got the show. I've been playing Madden because I have EA access.
How is it?
It's
I've heard mixed reviews.
It's I've actually took a break from Madden for a long time because I just didn't like the gameplay and this and that. But one of my friends wants me to be in his online franchise, and I said I'd do it. I'm a Titans fan, so I got it early because I have EA access. I played it. I'm finding it difficult to run the ball. So I haven't played in a while, so I don't know if my opinions even matter, really.
Oh, so I pick it up opening day every year.
Yeah.
So, and my running game's always the drizzling shits.
Okay.
So.
And I think they do that on purpose. I think like I think running is so difficult because they want people to pass, and Madden is almost turned
I'll throw for 400 yards,
Yeah.
but also throw 4 picks. You know, like
Yeah.
it's awful.
Well, it's turned into like an esports game. You know, it's like it's so competitive now that they want you to throw the ball. It's like nobody can grind the game. I just want to give the ball to Henry. I'm a Titans fan. I just want to give the ball to Henry. I want to milk the clock. I want to throw like 4 passes with Tannehill on play action. That's all I want to do and play defense. Just leave me alone. That's it. But I've been looking into 2K, PGA. Yeah, I've been looking into PGA 2K, and I just haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. But I think I'm gonna. I just haven't done it yet.
It's much. There's a bigger learning curve, and it's much more involved than like the EA Sports PGA games were. So I like it. It wasn't an easy pick up and play, which I enjoyed. Having to kind of figure out the interface and stuff. So
yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
The recent EA Sports golf games I didn't enjoy. The Tiger Woods ones back in the day, I do. So we'll see.
I always picked up plenty of those. Yeah. That was another one every year. I would buy it.
Yeah.
EA Sports got so much of my money back in the day, and still does.
Do you play FIFA by any chance?
I'm not a huge soccer fan. I've got like FIFA like 14 or something.
Yeah.
I played it occasionally, but I'd never been able to get into soccer. I want to. And obviously with the Atlanta United actually being the one good sports team we have here, I wish I liked it.
Yeah.
Everybody tells me like, oh, you should just go to a game. Like you'd enjoy it because you just get drunk and chant soccer chants. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I should.
Everything's better with a beer.
You know it.
Damn straight. What I like to do at the end of every show, Mr. Sells, is I'm going to give you the microphone now, and you can put over anything you want. You can sell anything you want, bury anything you want. I don't care. I will not interrupt you. The floor is yours.
Awesome. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That's at AllSellsFinal, AllSellsFinal. Follow me on Facebook. Go to that Facebook like page, facebook.com/rock and roll model. Check out my YouTube, youtube.com/MattSexSells. That's where I drop It's Never Sunny in Matlanta, my weekly web series, or it used to be weekly. With pandemic stuff, now I have a lot of shows to film at. It's a little bit less now, but go back. There's 140 something episodes. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead, binge it. They're a minute a piece. Like if you don't have anything else to do, if you're quarantined, 2.5 hours of your time, you can watch this pretty face, and you can see guest stars that included guys like Keith Lee, Cody Rhodes, God, who else? Adam Cole, Mark Briscoe, you name it. It's
Scott Steiner.
Who's who of professional wrestling, right? So it's perfect. And then if you want some Matt Sells merchandise, so for instance, the Matt Sells is my hero, referencing Fighter Fest last year, laid out by Kenny Omega. Just DM me on any of those platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And I do all my stuff DIY, very punk rock. I get it printed up and I ship it straight to you. 8x10s, t-shirts, all that good stuff. You think of it, I can send it to you. We got koozies, all kinds of fun stuff. Keep those beers cold. And then by all means, tell your local independent professional wrestling promotion that you want to see the rock and roll model of Boozerweight, Matt Sells, wrestle in front of you, because I love being
awesome. Great.
I think that's enough, right? Like
yeah.
That's enough chilling.
That's enough. It's
enough
awesome.
Selling.
I'll tell you what.
We need the border to open up now.
Yeah, this has been.
I know a promoter.
Definitely keep in touch, because so I try to work like every country and every state that I can. I've done 20 states. I did an appearance, not necessarily an actual match, in Japan last year. Canada's on my list. I've been to Canada a couple different times, and I love Canada. But it was up there when I was doing Ring of Honor, and I was there doing crew and stuff, and just never had a match when I was there. But no, please tell any promoter you know. I'd love to come up there. Toronto's the cleanest flipping city I've ever been to. I love it. Everything's amazing about Canada. Everybody's so nice. So once borders open back up, I'm there.
Awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you on. This literally has been one of my favorite shows of all time.
You say that to all the
girls.
girls.
No, I don't. I don't. Tell him, Vanessa, I don't.
He doesn't.
I told Thunder Rosa she looked exhausted. She's a champion. No, this truly has been a phenomenal show. And I just want to say thank you for coming on, and we'll definitely be in touch.
Hey, thanks for having me, and I'd love to be back when the world's sort of normal, and I have more stuff to promote.
Yeah.
By all means, if you're in the Georgia area, come check me out at Livewire Wrestling this Saturday in Augusta, Georgia. Come check me out September 4th in Tyrone, Georgia at Action Wrestling. They're running 2 different shows. The great thing is the late show is their more adult show that they're going to run. The first time they're doing it, and it's being hosted by yours truly. It's the Tonight in this very ring show with Matt Sells. And I am actually going to do a monologue, and we'll have special guests, and it is an actual wrestling show. So there'll be some matches too, which I've been dropping those on Twitter as well. So yeah, my life's nuts. People put me in charge of shit, so I don't know why. I ran the Boozerweight Classic in January, and for a promotion, it was one of the better houses they've ever drawn. So
awesome.
Come see me do my bullshit, and please let me come back and do more of my bullshit for you.
Yeah.
It's been a fantastic conversation.
Awesome.
And it didn't include, tell me about your start.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I want to talk Major League. Awesome. Thanks. Have yourself a wonderful night, and we'll be in touch, man.
All right, you do the same, brother. Appreciate it.
Later. Oh, man. That was great. Later.
Later, man.
Yep. That was awesome, Vanessa.
This guy's called the Standing Streamer.
The champ is here!